The mining station hung at the edge of the nebula like a small metal island in a dark sea. Around it, the colors of the gas cloud glowed in slow waves of blue and purple. Transport ships moved in and out of the main dock, carrying crates of rare crystal from the rocks below. Tiny worker drones floated along the hull, welding and checking panels, making sure the fragile human outpost stayed alive. Inside the station, the air hummed with low machine noise and the soft echo of boots on metal floors. People talked in quiet voices. They were tired but proud. They knew they were far from home, farther than most humans had ever gone. But they also knew that this place, this lonely station, could change everything for their species. The crystals they mined were strange. When hit with energy, they held it and released it with almost no loss. New engines, new weapons, new shields, all were being tested using these crystals. The nebula was a treasure, and humanity had reached out to claim it. Captain walked along the main observation deck with slow, steady steps. The large curved window showed the nebula in front of her, and the small shapes of her escort ships around the station. She wore a dark fleet uniform, simple and clean, with a small silver bar on her collar. Her brown hair was tied back, and there were faint lines around her eyes from many sleepless nights. She stopped in front of the glass and folded her hands behind her back. She was not an old woman, but she felt older than her years. Command did that to a person. Life out here did that too. When she looked at the nebula, she did not see beauty. She saw risks, unknowns, and all the ways things could go wrong. Footsteps approached from behind her. "Captain," a calm male voice said. Turned her head slightly and saw Logan Carter, her tactical officer. He was in his late 30s, short dark hair, alert eyes that missed nothing. He carried a tablet under his arm, and his expression was as controlled as always. "Report, Logan," she said. "Station security is at standard readiness," he said. "Patrol routes are stable. No unusual activity on the outer scanners." He paused and glanced at the nebula. "We did pick up a faint energy spike in the cloud about an hour ago. It faded quickly, but I logged it. Could be natural, could be something else." "Show me," said. Logan tapped his tablet, and a small display near the window lit up. A simple line graph appeared, showing a sharp spike and then a drop. "How far from the station?" she asked. "About 3 light minutes," Logan replied. "Deep in the gas, no clear source." "Watch the graph for a moment. Any sign of ships?" "No transponder beacons. No heat signatures that match known designs," he said. "It is possible something powered up and then shut down before we could get a lock." She let out a slow breath. "Keep an extra eye on that sector." "Already set," he said. Nodded once, then looked back out at the nebula. "We are sitting on a fortune," she said quietly. "A fortune and a target. I do not like mysteries this close to my station." "Understood," Logan replied. Down in the hangar bay, Brooks ran a hand along the wing of his fighter. The sleek craft, painted in dark gray with a small blue stripe, rested on its landing gear while drones reloaded its fuel cells. Grinned to himself. He loved this ship more than any room he had ever lived in. He was younger than most of the bridge crew, with short blonde hair and a relaxed posture. People said he joked too much, but no one doubted his skills. In the tight dance of a dogfight, there were few who could match him. "Talking to your bird again?" a voice asked from behind. Did not turn. "She flies better when I do," he said. "We have an understanding, right, girl?" He patted the wing. The mechanic nearby rolled his eyes but smiled. "You are cleared for patrol in 10, the mechanic said. "Standard route. Try not to scratch the paint this time." "No promises," replied. As climbed the ladder to the cockpit, a message flashed on the hangar display calling all pilots to readiness level 2. Frowned. That was one level above routine. Something had changed. In the station's main control room, the lights dimmed slightly as new alerts appeared on the central hollow table. Thin lines of data scroll moved across the air. The communications officer sat at her console with a headset over her dark hair. She typed rapidly, eyes moving from one display to another. "Captain, we are getting an odd reading from the outer perimeter scanners," she said. "Energy distortion at the edge of the nebula. It does not match any human drive signature." Stepped closer to the hollow table, put it up. A simple wireframe image appeared in the air between them. It showed the station at the center, the nebula surrounding it, and a small glowing mark moving slowly out of the cloud toward the station. "Speed?" asked. "Sublight," Logan answered. He had moved to stand near her, tablet in hand. "No identification code, no attempt to contact us." "How big is it?" asked. Logan checked his data. "Small, maybe the size of a shuttle, but the energy around it is unusual. Dense field but no clear engine plume." "Could be a rock," his voice said over the intercom as he joined the patrol channel from his fighter. "A very rude rock that forgot to knock." "Focus," said, but there was a hint of warmth in her tone. "Yes, Captain," he said, more serious now. "Any chance this is one of ours?" asked. Shook her head. "Nothing in our databases. No allied design matches this profile either. If it is a ship, it is from someone we have never met." The word hung in the air. Someone we have never met. Felt a small chill run down her spine. Humanity had met a few alien species before. Most were distant, cautious, and older. They traded with humans where it was safe and stayed away from human wars. Everyone knew there were other powers in the galaxy, but contact was limited. The galaxy was big enough that most species lived and died without ever sharing a sky. A new contact out here near a rare resource was not a simple thing. "Logan, what is your recommendation?" asked. "We go to defense readiness," he said at once. "Not full lock but close, shields at standby, guns powered but cold. We send standard greetings in all major trade tongues and human languages. We show open hands but we keep our armor ready." Nodded. "Do it. Broadcast greetings. You and the patrol wing stay between that object and the station. No one fires unless I say so." "Understood," said. "Yes, Captain," replied. Messages flew out from the station in a wide cone of radio, tight beam, and light pulses. Each carried the same basic message: "Unidentified vessel. This is Human Frontier Station Hades Reach. You are entering a protected mining zone. State your intent." Minutes passed. The unknown object kept moving. No reply came. Stood very still, watching the glowing mark on the hollow table creep closer. "Range?" she asked. "Closing to 10,000 kilometers, Logan said. His voice was calm, but his jaw was tight. "Power levels?" she asked. "Stable," Logan said. "Field distortion increasing. It may be charging something. I cannot tell if it is a weapon or a sensor." Felt her heartbeat pick up. She did not like guessing. "Can you get a visual?" she asked. "On it," said. His fighter banked slightly and the stars shifted on his display. The nebula glowed behind the object, making its shape hard to read. Then it came into view. "I have it," said. In the control room, the image from his cockpit camera appeared on a side screen. The unknown vessel was not like any ship they knew. It was smooth and curved, with no sharp angles, almost like a dark shell grown in space instead of built. Faint green lines glowed along its surface like veins. There were no visible engines, no windows, no guns. "Looks like a beetle," said softly. "A very big, very unfriendly beetle." "Hold position," said. "Do not move closer." "Yes, Captain." "Send our message again," ordered. "Add a clear warning this time. They are entering a restricted zone. If they keep coming, we will have to assume hostile intent." Swallowed and nodded. Her fingers flew over the console. She sent the message in all the same channels, plus a simple series of light pulses aimed directly at the unknown ship. Again, there was no answer. "Logan," said quietly, If that thing is a sensor platform, it is already mapping us. If it is a weapon. If it is a weapon, waiting too long may kill us, he said. He did not raise his voice, but the words were clear. Any sign of smaller craft or a fleet behind it? She asked. He shook his head. Nothing visible, but the nebula makes deeper scans hard. Stared at the screen. The unknown ship was now only a few thousand kilometers away. It had changed course slightly, angling not just toward the station but straight toward the largest cluster of mining drones. Captain, came another voice from the engineering console. The object is emitting a narrow beam toward the drones. It is not weapons-grade energy, but it is strong. They are being scanned at a deep level. Can it hack them? Asked. I do not know, the engineer said. It is a completely new pattern. His hands curled into fists behind her back. Logan, she said, what does our protocol say for an unknown vessel performing deep scans on key assets inside our protected zone after repeated ignored warnings? Logan did not need to look it up. Protocol allows a single warning shot across the bow, using the lowest level of force able to send a clear message. It is classed as a defensive escalation, not an act of war. The words hung in the air. A simple rule, a simple step. And if they do not understand our protocol? Asked softly. Logan looked at her, then at, we cannot control what they understand, he said. We can only follow our own rules. Closed her eyes for a moment. She saw the miners in the lower decks, the engineers, the pilots, the families who had come to start a new life on the nearby colony world. She saw them all and knew that if she guessed wrong, they might die. She opened her eyes. Target their path, she said. Not the ship. Use forward battery 1. Minimum power visible blast. I want them to be scared, not destroyed. Yes, Captain, Logan said. He gave the orders and the station's main gun swiveled slightly. Inside the barrel, energy built in a steady hum. On the hollow table, a dotted line appeared, showing the path of the planned shot. Said, pull your wing back another 1,000 kilometers. I do not want you near this. Falling back, said, his voice tight now. Captain, are you sure about this? No, said, but I am doing it anyway. He did not argue. Logan looked at her. On your mark, Captain. Watched the unknown ship on the screen. It did not slow. It did not turn. It glided forward, calm and silent, its strange green lines glowing a little brighter. Fire, she said. The gun spoke. A beam of bright white light shot out from the station, passing in front of the unknown ship by a few hundred kilometers. It cut through the gas of the nebula, leaving a brief glowing trail. The shot was carefully aimed to miss, but close enough that any pilot, any captain, would see it as a clear warning. For a second, nothing happened. Then the unknown ship flared. The green lines along its hull burst into sudden bright light. Energy surged around it in a thick cloud, and a wave of invisible force rolled out. What was that? Cried. Massive spike in power output, Logan said, eyes wide now. I think we triggered some kind of automatic response. On screen, the alien ship seemed to ripple. It did not fire a weapon. It did not explode. Instead, the energy around it formed into a tight sphere and then flashed outward. The wave hit the nearest mining drones first. Every drone in range went dark in the same instant, their lights blinking out like candles in a storm. The wave kept going, slamming into the edge of the station's shield. The deck shook on her feet. Shields holding, the engineer called, but that was a hard hit. The beam we fired, Logan said quickly, checking his data, did not touch their hull, but their field reacted as if it was an attack. Because it was, said quietly, her chest felt tight. Pressed a hand to her console. Captain, we are picking up a tight beam burst from the unknown ship. It is not aimed at us. It is going out into the nebula. Signal strength is huge. Can you translate it? Asked. No, said, but we can see the pattern structure. It is long range, think distress call or a military alert. The unknown ship did not move away. It began to turn instead, slow and smooth, until it faced the station directly. The green lines on its surface pulsed in a steady rhythm. "They are locking onto us," Logan said. "I think that wave we felt was a test." "Pull back to maximum safe distance," ordered. "Do not engage." "Copy," said. "But Captain, there is something else. I am reading new energy signatures in the nebula, big ones, multiple." On the hollow table, new marks appeared deep inside the cloud. 1, then 3, then 8, then more. Each carried the same strange energy pattern, only much stronger. "Are those ships?" someone whispered. "Yes," Logan said, "and they are huge." In his earpiece, a series of sharp tones sounded. Her console lit up with new data. "Captain," she said, her voice almost shaking now, "our long-range relay just picked up translations from our listening post in the inner systems. An allied network tagged the energy code of that alert signal. They have seen it before." "Turn to her, where?" "In old war records," answered. "Across multiple species. Every time this signal was recorded, it marked the fall of a world. They call the senders of this signal the Scourge, the deadliest creatures any of them ever faced." The room went very quiet. "What do they call them?" asked softly. Looked at her screen. "They do not use a name, Captain. Different species use different words, but the meaning is the same. The ones who end civilizations." Felt a cold weight settle in her stomach. She looked back at the screen that showed the first alien ship, still glowing green, still turning its strange, blank face toward her station. "So," she said almost to herself, "our warning shot." "Our warning shot," Logan finished. "Just sent a message to the most feared species in the galaxy. We told them we are willing to shoot." There was a long silence. Outside the window, more shapes began to appear at the edge of the nebula, like shadows forming in thick fog. Straightened her shoulders. "Then we will not pretend this is anything else," she said. Her voice was quiet but firm. "We will send a clear record of what just happened to Central Command. We will evacuate non-essential personnel from the station to the colony below. We will prepare defenses." Logan nodded, understood. Continued, "Send one more message in every language we have. State clearly that we did not intend war, but we will defend our people. Make it honest. Make it clean." Swallowed and did as she was told. When the message was sent, looked around the room at her officers. She saw fear in their eyes. She felt it in herself too. But under the fear there was also something else. A small, hard spark. "We did not come out here to be prey," she said. "We came to build a future. If these creatures want to end us because we fired a warning shot, then they will learn something new today. They will learn what it means when humans are pushed." No one cheered, but several of them stood a little. Far out in the nebula, the first of the larger alien ships turned toward the station, drawn by the alert signal from their wounded scout. Across the empty light years, in places humanity had never seen, other signals moved through old networks, passing the news from one dark corner of space to another. A new species had fired on the Scourge. On a dozen distant worlds, alien commanders and leaders saw the code and went still. Old scars remembered old wars. Some shut down their screens and turned away. Others whispered soft words in their own tongues, a mix of pity and dread. Somewhere in a deep and hidden fortress, an ancient mind watched the alert signal on a vast display. Long limbs moved slowly, touching symbols that had not been used in centuries. New origin, a translated label showed, human. The ancient mind considered this. In the small human station by the nebula, stood at the window and watched the shadows grow. She knew only the smallest part of what she had started. She did not know that far away, across many star systems, old powers were already whispering about her species. But she did know one thing. There was no going back now. Humanity had just declared, with one thin line of light in the dark, that it would not bow, and the deadliest creatures the galaxy had ever feared were on their way to answer. The first alien ship did not fire again. It only watched. That silence was worse than open attack. Around it, the shadows in the nebula grew heavier, and the new shapes moved closer with slow, steady purpose. Kept her eyes on the main screen, her face calm even as her thoughts raced. In the lower levels of the station, alarms began to sound. They were not the loud panic alarms of sudden disaster, but the steady pulsing tone of controlled evacuation. Non-essential workers followed trained paths toward the transport decks. Some moved quickly, some looked back again and again, trying to understand what was happening outside. Lily Parker guided a group of injured miners through a narrow corridor. One man had broken ribs from a drone accident earlier, and another had a bad burn on his arm. Lily kept her voice gentle but firm as she helped them walk. "You will be fine," she said. "Just keep moving, the shuttle is close." "Are those things really aliens?" one of the miners asked, eyes wide. "Yes," Lily said, "but we will not let them touch you." She did not know if that was true, but she knew fear could spread fast, and she refused to feed it. On the bridge, Logan Carter watched as more data poured in. The alien fleet was now clear on the scanners. There were at least 12 large ships, each far bigger than the human escort craft. Smaller shapes moved between them like insects around a nest. "They are forming a wide arc," Logan said. "Not tight formation, it looks deliberate, like they want to surround us but leave space." "For what?" asked quietly. "To study us," Logan replied, "or to show dominance, or to prepare an attack pattern." Looked at the tactical map. "How long until they are in direct firing range?" "At current speed, 7 minutes, Logan said. 7 minutes, she repeated. 7 minutes to prepare for creatures known to erase worlds. Brooks floated in the quiet of his cockpit, hands resting lightly on the controls. His fighter was now far from the station, a small gray speck between human steel and alien shadow. His breathing was slow, but his jaw was tight. "Captain," he said over the channel, "these ships are beautiful in a very wrong way, like something grown, not built." "Stay alert," said. "Do not let that beauty distract you." "I am not feeling distracted," he replied. "I am feeling very small." There was a low ripple of nervous laughter on the shared channel, and then silence again. Leaned closer to her console. "The first ship is sending more signals," she said. "They are repeating a pattern. I cannot translate words, but the structure matches a challenge or formal notice." "Can you respond?" asked. "We can mirror the pattern," said, "but we do not know the meaning." Nodded once. "Mirror it, show we are listening." Sent the mirrored pattern back. Light pulses crossed the empty space between species, like two blind minds touching for the first time. The alien ship did not change course, but one of the larger vessels shifted forward. Its hull shimmered, and deep within its structure, points of light began to gather. "Energy buildup," Logan said, "this time weapons grade." Felt the weight of the moment settle around her. This was real. This was no longer a misunderstanding. Whatever had started the tension, the next action would decide lives. "Raise shields to full," she ordered. "Power all defensive turrets. Track targets but hold fire until confirmed impact." The station systems responded, a deep vibration moving through the frame as power rerouted and focused. The shield bubble around the station glowed faintly, a thin blue arc visible even to the naked eye. "Fall back behind the station shield," she said. "I want all pilots inside defensive radius." "Copy," replied. His fighter swung around, passing the edge of the shield where the light bent and shimmered. He glanced back once at the alien fleet and then forced his eyes forward. Out beyond the shield, the first heavy alien ship released its stored energy. A beam of dark emerald light surged forward, not like human lasers, but like a twisting stream of charged air and fire mixed. It struck the shield with a crack so loud it felt like a physical blow, even across vacuum. The shield flared bright, lines of strain rippling across its surface. "Shield at 78%, an engineer called. Another beam followed, then another, each strike hammering at the protective barrier. The station groaned under the stress. "They are testing our defenses," Logan said, "probing for weak points. Watch the numbers fall, 72, 69, 65. "Return fire," she said at last. The station's turrets came alive, white-blue beams flashing toward the nearest alien ship. Some struck its hull and scattered like sparks across stone. Others were absorbed by its glowing field without clear damage. "We are not breaking through," Logan said. "Keep firing," replied. "We are not trying to kill it yet. We are trying to make them understand that we do not submit." On display, the firefight looked unreal. Green and white light crossed back and forth, painting the nebula in sharp flashes. He felt his fingers curl on the controls, every instinct screaming to join the fight. "Permission to engage with fighters?" he asked. "Negative," said. "They stay out of the kill zone until we understand their patterns." "Understood," he said, though the word tasted bitter. Another alien ship moved forward and another. The arc tightened slowly, surrounding the station more fully. The beams grew in number and strength. "Shield at 49%, the engineer called. Looked pale. "Captain, more alien signals are moving through the network. Distant observers are recording this. We are on display." "Then let them see," said. Near the station hull, debris from disabled drones and shattered equipment spun away into the void. One large chunk struck the shield and bounced off in a slow spiral. It looked fragile, lost, alone. Inside the station, automated systems sealed off damaged outer corridors. Emergency lights flickered, then stabilized. The evacuation continued, calm but urgent. On the colony world below, long-range telescopes tracked the battle. Families watched bright flashes in the sky and prayed for names they might never hear again. Within the alien fleet, the largest vessel shifted its internal structure. Deep controls responded to ancient commands. It analyzed the human station, its energy output, its stubborn defense patterns. It did not feel anger. It did not feel pride. It only measured and judged. Back on the station, Logan leaned slightly toward. "Captain, their fire pattern is changing. They are focusing on the same area of the shield repeatedly." Looked closer. He was right. A segment on the upper left arc was taking repeated hits. "They found a stress point," she said. "Yes," Logan agreed. "At this rate, that section will fail within 2 minutes." "Can we rotate shield harmonics?" asked. "We can try," the engineer said, hands flying over controls. "But the system is not designed for fast combat shifts of this scale." "Try anyway," said. The shield shimmered and changed tone slightly, like a skin shaking off water. The alien beams landed again, and for a moment the stress lines scattered. Then the aliens adjusted, the new pattern with cold precision. "They are learning too fast," whispered. "So will we," answered. "Shield at 29%, came the next report. "Prepare internal defense teams," ordered. "If they breach, I do not want panic, I want control." Jack's voice came over the comm. "Ground units are ready, Captain. We have secured key corridors and placed portable barriers. If they board, they will not move freely." "Good," said. "Hold firm." Another heavy strike hit. The deck shook harder this time, lights dimming for a heartbeat. "Shield at 12%, the engineer said, tension clear in his voice. Then the next beam came before anyone could speak. The shield shattered. A wave of light rippled outward and vanished. The station stood bare against the alien fire. The next strike hit the hull directly. Metal screamed. A section of plating near the upper ring burst outward, venting air and debris into the void. "Hull breach in Sector 4, someone shouted. "Seal it," said. Her voice did not rise. "Keep guns firing." Another blast tore into a communications array, spinning it away like broken glass. "Power fluctuation," the engineer called. "We are losing stability on Grid 3. Watched the shield collapse and felt a cold shock run through him. "Captain, shields are down," he said unnecessarily, just to hear a voice on the channel. "Stay where you are," she replied. "Do not rush in." The first alien ship glided closer now, bold, unafraid. Smaller craft moved behind it, matching its logical rhythm. Then suddenly, the alien fire slowed. One beam cut off, then another. Within seconds, all weapons from the nearest ships powered down. Only the low green glow remained. "They stopped," Logan said. The silence after the storm was almost painful. A new signal came from the leading alien vessel. This one was different, shorter, focused. "They are not attacking," said slowly. "They are requesting approach." "Requesting," echoed. "Yes," replied. "I am detecting guidance pulses directed at the main docking ring. It looks like they want to move closer without firing." The bridge filled with uneasy murmurs. "Boarding?" Jack's voice asked over the channel. "Possibly," Logan said. Study the tactical map again. The alien fleet held position, weapons inactive but present. The leading ship eased forward, slow and deliberate, toward the broken outer ring of the station. "Captain," Logan said quietly, "this may be their way of inspecting the enemy they marked, or it may be their way of accepting formal conflict." "Either way," said, "we do not pull back now. Prepare internal teams. Open docking ring 2 on controlled pressure. Seal all other access points." There was a pause. "You are letting them come in?" asked. "Yes," said. "If they wanted us dead, they would continue firing. This pause is a choice. We will answer it with control, not fear." Deep in the station, pressure locks shifted. Thick doors slid into place along unused corridors. Armed human units moved into shadowed positions, weapons low but ready. The alien vessel drew close, its smooth hull reflecting the station lights. A section of its surface softened and opened, not with metal or hinges, but with a slow, organic parting like a living mouth. A bridge of faint green energy extended from that opening toward the human docking ring. "It is forming a connection," Logan said. "Life support?" asked. "Unknown atmosphere composition, but visuals suggest a stable transit field." Stepped closer to the forward door of the bridge, though she knew it would remain sealed for now. "Jack," she said, "you and a small team will meet them in the outer docking hall. Non-aggressive posture but ready to react. You do not fire unless I give the order." "Understood," Jack replied. The docking hall cameras flicked on, showing the wide circular chamber lit by pale white strips. At one side, the alien energy bridge touched the rim of the airlock, humming softly. The human soldiers took position, slow breath steadying their aim. Then movement came through the green glow. A shape stepped forward. It was tall, taller than any human. Its body was covered in a dark, smooth surface broken by faint veins of glowing color. Limbs unfolded with careful grace, 4 of them, each ending in fine, sharp points. Its head was long, faceless at first glance, until faint ridges of light formed a shape that might have been eyes. Behind it, more shapes waited, half seen in the glow. The first being stepped fully into the docking hall and stopped. It did not raise limbs in threat. It did not bow either. It simply stood and watched the humans with still, measuring silence. Jack swallowed once and shifted his stance. Back on the bridge, watched through the live feed, heart steady but ears filled with the sound of her own pulse. "They have boarded," Maya said softly, awe and fear mixed in her tone. Did not speak. She stood and watched as the deadliest creatures the galaxy had ever feared took their first steps inside a human station, and she knew that whatever came next would shape everything that followed. The alien stepped forward into the docking hall and paused. Its body stayed perfectly still, as if even breathing was measured. The green light behind it faded slightly, and the soft hum of the energy bridge became steady and low. Jack and the soldiers did not move. Their weapons stayed lowered, but their fingers rested close to the triggers. The alien lifted one of its limbs slowly and touched the air in front of it. Faint lines of light flowed from its surface and formed soft shapes that shifted and changed. The sound that followed was not speech, but a careful rhythm, a pattern of tones that echoed gently around the metal walls. Leaned closer to her console on the bridge. "We are getting a signal through short range," she said. "It is not clear language, but it has structure." "Let them respond with the mirrored pattern," said. "No sudden moves." Sent a simple tone sequence back. The alien tilted its head slightly, as if it noticed something new. It took another step forward, closing some of the distance, but still leaving space. Jack spoke slowly, choosing each word with care. "We are human. We defend our station. We do not want pointless death." His words meant nothing to the alien, but the tone of his voice carried calm, and the shape of his posture carried intent. The alien answered with another wave of sound and light, more complex this time. In the bridge, Turner watched lines of data scroll across her display. She adjusted the patterns, matching them against the archives of other species. Her eyes grew wide. I think they are not speaking in words," she said. "They use structured emotional signals mixed with command logic. Their communication is half instinct, half data." "Can you translate it?" asked. "Not fully," said, "but I can sense the shift. The first signal was dominance and evaluation. The second one carries curiosity." "Watch the alien through the screen. Then curiosity is better than rage," she said. The alien lifted another limb and touched its own chest. A brighter color flowed across its veins and pulsed outward. The pattern repeated, then spread toward the humans like a soft ripple. Jack felt a strange pressure, not painful but heavy, as if something was probing the edge of his thoughts without truly entering. He clenched his jaw but did not step back. "Captain," he said over the comm, "it feels like they are trying to read us." "Hold steady," replied. "You are not alone." On the bridge, the rest of the crew watched in tense silence. The first moment of direct contact with a nightmare species was unfolding not in fire, but in stillness. Outside, the alien fleet remained silent, motionless guardians of their own strange ritual. The nebula glowed behind them, painting their massive forms in shifting color. Then another alien stepped through the energy bridge, slightly smaller, but moving with sharper speed. It stood beside the first and released a different tone, sharper and more urgent. The first alien responded with a slower sound, firm and controlled. The exchange went back and forth in a pattern that felt like debate or warning. His eyes scanned the data. "The second one is more aggressive," she said. "It shows high-tension states. The first one is dominant, it is calming the other." Nodded. "Then that one is the leader," she said, "or at least the decision-maker." In the docking hall, Jack shifted his stance slightly and lowered his weapon another inch, showing clear intent not to attack. The alien leader watched the movement, then mirrored it by lowering its limbs toward the floor, not fully, but enough to reduce threat display. That small exchange broke the ice more than any signal could. Minutes passed in slow, fragile balance. Human and alien stood facing each other, neither knowing the full depth of the other. Around them, every camera and sensor recorded every movement, every flicker of light. Then suddenly, the alien raised its limb again and pointed toward the station wall, toward the direction of the bridge above. A new pattern of sound flowed out, deeper and heavier than before. "Change," murmured. "This is not curiosity, this is warning." Leaned forward. "Captain, external sensors show the fleet adjusting formation. Power levels are rising again." His jaw tightened. "They are responding to something internal," she said, "or they are demanding submission." The alien leader stepped forward one more pace. Its glowing veins flared brighter, shifting to a sharper shade. The pressure in the air thickened, not physical but emotional, as if weight settled on the minds of those nearby. Jack felt anger rise in his chest, hot and stubborn. He pushed it down. He would not be the one to restart bloodshed. "We will not bow," he said quietly. He did not raise his voice, but his words carried clear force. The alien hesitated. Then it changed tactics. Instead of pressing forward, it turned one limb toward the wall and released a flat line of light onto the metal. The glow hardened into shapes, simple at first, then more clear. Images formed on the surface, like shadows trapped in glass. Stars appeared, then ships, then worlds, and then fire. The images showed long trails of green light cutting through planetary atmospheres. Cities burned away under wave after wave of power. Entire surfaces turned black. The vision was raw, clean, deliberate. It was a record or a threat. "It is showing us what happens when resistance continues," said softly. "Or what they fear we will do to them," Logan replied. In the images, a strange detail became clear. Some of the destroyed worlds had human markers, human architecture, human symbols. Outdated, old, from early expansion attempts far beyond declared zones. Stared at the screen. "Those are lost colonies," she whispered. "No one ever found out what happened to them." The alien shifted again, and the images changed. New ships appeared. Similar alien designs fighting something different. Fast, sharp, chaotic vessels that burned with white and red light. Those ships carried human patterns, human movement, human aggression. "They know about our past fights," Logan said. "They studied our older forces." The final image shimmered and froze on a simple concept. Human ships and alien ships tearing each other apart in endless dark. Then the image faded. The alien turned back to Jack and released a final tone, long and heavy, like the echo of a horn across deep space. Silence followed. On the bridge, felt cold, understanding settle in her chest. "They are giving us a choice," she said, "fear or defiance." "And they expect fear," added. Jack's voice came over the comm again. "Captain, what do you want us to do?" Did not answer right away. She thought of the miners, the families, the future of the colony world below. She thought of the maps showing unknown space still waiting for humans to touch it. She thought of the wall of fire the alien had just shown. Then she thought of the simple truth that humanity did not bend easily. "We respond," she said, "but not with threats, with resolve." Jack nodded even though she could not see him directly. He stepped forward slowly, closing the distance. The alien lifted its limbs in mild alert but did not strike. Jack stopped only a short space away, close enough to feel the faint warmth of its field. He raised one gloved hand and pointed gently toward his chest, then toward the station halls behind him, and then outward past the alien, toward the hidden stars. "We live," he said softly, "and we move forward." The alien did not understand the language, but something in the gesture registered. Its veins dimmed, then brightened in a softer pulse. Again, watch the pattern shift. "They are uncertain," she said. "They are not used to organisms that do not obey dominant conditioning." "They call themselves hunters," Logan said, "but they are meeting prey that refuses the script." The alien leader stepped back a half pace. The second alien lowered its aggressive posture slightly. A new calm tone filled the hall. Outside, the fleet paused its charge again, holding position, as if waiting for command input from the one inside. Minutes stretched. Then the green bridge began to recede. The first alien slowly turned and stepped back toward its ship, never taking eyes off the humans. The second followed. The opening closed behind them, sealing like smooth skin. On the bridge, a soft breath escaped several crew members. "They are withdrawing," said, "at least for now." The lead alien ship pulled away from the docking ring, drifting backward in controlled silence. The rest of the fleet adjusted, spacing out, no longer circling so tightly. But full departure did not come. Instead, the ships held position at a greater distance, like predators choosing a better angle in the dark. Lean back slightly and let a slow breath leave her chest. Tension still wrapped around the station, but the immediate danger had stepped away. "Status report," she said calmly. "Hull damage patching in progress," Logan replied. "Shields are recharging at 20%, life support stable, casualties minimal so far." "And the aliens?" she asked. "Observing," said. "No active weapons, but their scans are stronger now. They are studying every system we have." Nodded. "Let them see. They will learn who we are by watching." Hours passed in cautious silence. Crews repaired damage, replaced broken drone nodes, and cleared debris. In the docking hall, Jack and his team stayed alert but rested more easily, weapons lowered but present. Then a new signal appeared. This one did not come from the fleet near the nebula, but from far beyond known range. A distant human relay post repeated the call over emergency channels. His voice turned tight. "Captain, we are receiving reports of alien activity in 2 nearby systems. Stations burned. Several outposts destroyed. The energy signature matches these ships exactly." Closed her eyes for a moment. She had not angered only a scout. She had awakened a response pattern that now echoed across space. "They are making an example," Logan said, "to warn others not to defy them." Opened her eyes again. "Then we will become a better example," she replied, "not of fear, of resistance that does not crumble." She looked at the stars beyond the camera feed, at the shapes of alien ships holding their distance, waiting and judging. Inside her chest, the fear remained. But deeper than fear, something harder and older settled in place. Defiance. Human ships began to arrive from nearby sectors, responding to her earlier call. Small groups, reinforcement wings, medical vessels, not enough to match the alien fleet, but enough to show the first shape of a line forming. As the hours moved into cycle change, the silent standoff continued. No beams, no threats, only watchful stillness. Far inside the largest alien vessel, ancient processors calculated probability outcomes. Human patterns did not align with known models. Their emotional ranges did not fit predictable prey behavior. Their response to dominance pressure showed strange resilience metrics. A simple internal conclusion formed. This species was flawed, but also unstable and potentially dangerous. Back on the station, stood alone for a moment at the observation window, watching green light flicker across the hulls of the silent giants. She knew the quiet would not last forever. She knew the next stage would not be calm communication. But she also knew that in the small space of that docking hall, something had changed. Not peace, not understanding, but awareness. 2 worlds had looked each other in the eye. And neither had blinked. The quiet that followed did not feel like peace. It felt like the deep breath taken before a storm breaks the land. The alien fleet stayed at its distant line, watching and waiting. Human ships continued to arrive, forming a thin defensive wall around the station. They were small compared to the giants beyond, but their presence gave shape to courage. Moved through the bridge in slow steps. She spoke with engineers, checked reports from medical teams, and listened to Logan Carter as he adjusted tactical maps again and again. Each new scan from the alien fleet brought new questions. Each unanswered signal reminded them how little they truly knew. Brooks landed his fighter and climbed down with stiff legs. He did not joke this time. He only looked at the glowing shapes outside and shook his head. "They are waiting for something," he he said quietly to Logan. Yes, Logan replied. The question is what they think that something will be. Hours turned into a long cycle. The station lights dimmed and rose again. The air stayed tense. No one slept well. Then the first real move came. One of the alien ships surged forward without warning. Its green glow intensified, and the scanning field it released swept across the station like a heavy wave. Systems flickered. Consoles dimmed. The pressure inside the metal walls shifted again. They are initiating forced data extraction, said, hands flying across her console. They are not just observing now. They are attempting to enter system structures. Isolate critical networks, ordered at once. Cut external connections, full firewall lock. Digital barriers slammed shut across the station network. The alien signal pressed against them like a probing claw. We are holding, Turner said, watching lines of code react and defend. But they are learning every second. Outside, the alien vessel moved closer, and behind it 2 more followed. The rest held position, silent watchers. They will not respect boundaries, Logan said. They will test them until something breaks. Then we show them it will not, answered. She stepped forward and looked at the tactical display. Activate counter-wave protocol, she said. Use directional pulse against the forward vessel only. Lethal force but strong enough to disrupt. The order passed through the station. Power gathered once more. This time the beam was wide and controlled. A shock ripple directed forward like an invisible hand pushing back at a giant. The pulse struck the alien ship and spread across its hull. For the first time, the smooth surface trembled. The glow dimmed and then flared sharply as the vessel drifted back a few hundred meters. In the docking hall, cameras picked up rapid movement inside the alien structures. Signals pulsed faster, sharper, louder. They did not expect resistance at this level, said. They will adjust, Logan replied. They always do. As if answering him, the alien fleet shifted formation again. 3 large vessels pulled away, while several smaller ones broke off and moved toward the human ships instead of the station. They are targeting reinforced arrivals, warned. Said, you and the patrol wing intercept the smaller craft. Delay them. Do not chase, just hold them back. Copy, he replied, already running toward his fighter. The outer space filled with sharp motion. Human fighters surged forward in clean arcs. Alien craft answered with silent speed. Streams of green and white light crossed between them. Felt the familiar burn of focus return. Fear fell away, replaced by instinct and skill. He twisted his fighter through a narrow gap as a green beam passed too close to comfort. He fired, and the white shot struck an alien craft square. It did not explode, but its field flickered wildly. They bleed too, he murmured. But there were many. In the station, another wave of alien signals surged through the network. Systems flickered harder now. Internal lights dimmed once more. They are pushing deeper, said. They have adjusted for our isolation pattern. Looked around the bridge. Then we adjust again, she said. You have anything new? Clark turned from his engineering screen, eyes tired but sharp. I have been working on an unstable loop, he said. It mirrors their field logic and reflects it in a chaotic sequence. It might not damage them, but it will confuse and disrupt their balance. Will it harm our own systems? Asked. Possibly, he admitted, but less than what they will do if they break through. Not at once, do it. Activated the sequence. Across the station, energy channels pulsed in strange, irregular rhythms. The alien signal met it and began to fragment. Scanning lines lost coherence. Field pressure twisted back on itself. They just lost structural lock, said, signal strength dropping. Outside, the lead alien ship recoiled more sharply, as if stung. Its glow surged unevenly in harsh patterns. For the first time since arrival, the alien fleet showed hesitation. But the pause did not last. A deep vibration rolled through space like silent thunder. The largest alien vessel began to move forward, slow but certain, its power output rising far above anything the others had shown. "That one is a command core or war core," Logan said softly. "If it moves to end things." Felt her chest tighten. This was the moment the future bent one way or another. She opened the all channel to every human ship in range. "This is Captain," she said calmly. "No one breaks formation. No one acts alone. We hold this line together. We do not bow. We do not run. We show them that humans do not vanish quietly." Across the void, small lights answered as ships aligned more tightly. Then the great alien vessel reached the outer firing zone. It did not fire. Instead, it sent a focused signal toward the station, far stronger than any before. The air in the bridge felt heavy again. The screens filled with alien patterns, overwhelming but deliberate. His face grew pale. "This is not a weapon," she whispered. "This is direct cognition projection. They are attempting full mental dominance interface." Narrowed her eyes. "They are trying to force submission." Against her will, pressure crept into her mind like cold mist. Images flickered. Old fears, old doubts, ancient weakness. But behind her, behind every officer and every crew member, there stood something simple and strong. Stubborn clarity, refusal to kneel. She straightened slowly and stepped closer to the central display, facing the invisible presence pushing inward. "You will not own us," she said quietly, though no words crossed the gap. "You will not shape us. You will not end us." The projection intensified once more, and then something changed. From inside the human network, from voices echoing through internal channels, a shared response formed. Not organized, not programmed, simply human. Fear, anger, hope. Every mind connected through the station carried those same three things. They fed into the chaotic loop had created. The feedback grew bright and fractured. The alien projection buckled. A sharp shock rippled through space. The great vessel pulled back slightly, its glow flickering in erratic waves. On the bridge, screens stabilized, breath returned. "They failed," said in disbelief. "Their dominance process did not anchor." Logan glanced at. "They cannot control what refuses to accept control." Outside, alien ships shifted once more, but now the movements were less confident, less precise. They were assessing uncertainty. His voice came over the channel, breath hard. "Captain, they are retreating from the outer patrol line, not fleeing but repositioning." "Hold formation," said. "We do not chase." Slowly, the alien fleet drifted farther from the station. The largest vessel stayed a moment longer, then turned, its vast shape sliding back into the nebula's glow. The silence was different this time. It was not judgment, it was calculation. When the last alien ship settled at a distant watch zone, the immediate threat eased. Human ships kept position, steady and ready, but no shots were exchanged. Inside the station, repair crews moved faster now. Wounds were treated, systems stabilized, life continued. Sat alone for a brief moment in her command chair, eyes closed. The weight of everything pressed in, then slowly eased. She opened her eyes and looked at Logan. "We did not win," she said softly, "but we did not die." "For them," Logan replied, "that may be worse." Outside the station, the strange standoff spread across networks and observers. Other species watched with quiet shock as the feared creators of extinction did not crush the new human presence. They watched as humans stood steady instead of kneeling. In distant alien councils, silence followed observation. New calculations formed, old certainty cracked. Back near the nebula, stood again by the observation glass. She watched the green lights fade and shift behind thin cloud. The sense of imminent death had pulled back, but the war was far from over. She knew they would return, smarter, stronger, more prepared. But she also knew something else now. They were not facing frightened prey. They were facing beings who adapt, endure, and refuse to vanish. Behind her, the station hummed with the quiet noise of survival. People walked, systems healed, human life pushed forward again as it always did. And in the silence beyond the stars, the deadliest creatures the galaxy had ever feared began, for the first time, to question what it truly meant to face humanity.